Hey, good morning. Uh, Tim Young, DSMPA, 15 years a targeted individual. For like 12 of those, I thought it was only mental illness. Recently, with a mental health professional in Sequoia outfit who's been wonderful over this last year or 6 months, um, a mental health professional talked about my mental health and electromagnetic form perpetrators, which are some of the same, or some of the first time I've heard that in a mental health facility, them talking about these folks, this gang, and maybe they're called Two Faces. Uh, you know, their crew that sits here with their bodies catatonic in other locations, laying in their shit, their piss, and then I'm very serious about this. This is how it works. This is Howard Circle in algebra. Like I'm Kevin Christian, more or less. Out of we're also 1.5 million Americans right now, and then if they're working three people to one, depending on the sizes of the gang, I think there's probably 5 million, just a guess, EMF and then other gang stalkers. They're pretty sure this guy. He's pretty sure he's coordinating. This has been totally sanctioned by the FBI, which he may be right. This slow kill extermination, war crime, uh, crimes against humanity, destroying the Constitution. They somehow think they've topped the Ten Commandments and a lot of other stuff that should involve um, their death. So I don't expect Governor Brown to ever see that video. I don't expect a staffer to get on YouTube and look up Tim Young or even Governor Brown and see that I'm, at the end or the middle or whatever date it is, requesting that these electromagnetic form perpetrators be tracked down and killed for the good of the order and to preserve the Union, based on historical understanding of like Germany and Russia. And I don't think Germany and Russia had the Howard Circle technology when their countries fell apart for the same community spying, narking each other off and shit like that. Cops taking the law into their own hands, even more so than they already do. So this troop that's shown up to, I don't interact much with the towns that I'm in. And then inevitably, at least in the last couple of towns, they send in swarms of, well, in some case, psychopath, sociopath, narcissist is some of the criteria for who gets involved in this shit. So 15 years of a slow kill, um, identity theft in gang stalking. And this perp was right. I observed it 3 years ago. Even cable companies will cooperate with the initial satanic misdirection. And it allows for Satanists to cover their ass and actually look good. Where, and I'll try to do counter surveillance like this and stuff going forward, and maybe see if I can like get a hotspot and secure communications better. But because they keep stealing my identity and then like maybe convince mind controlled gang stalkers or TI that they're somehow the God of the Mormon based on my journaling, or that they like somehow because they mimic me and shit that I'm not God and they never were. Like, but that's the difference between Kevin Christian's situation, hey bud, and me in the Northwest, is that these EMF perps really tried to make a failed Zook streak religion, and then like somehow steal all my work and call themselves. So my last name's Young. I'm related to Brigham Young, but and no offense, like you were getting prepared for the Moon Life Review and some of the stuff that I know about what Mormons were taught. In the end, you'll know everything. Blah blah blah. That's getting trapped by the white light, seeing a life review at the moon, and then getting a memory wipe and forced into reincarnation. So it's initially false, and you want to go out the black Swiss cheese holes. And then when you get out those portals, you're going to realize, all the gods of Earth are false. Bye. So that's my plan, and I hope you consider it also. God is a parasitic notion. Angel is a parasitic notion and a 50,000 year view, and then considering this tech. So another difference between me and Kevin Christian. This gang, because of my, there may be some terms I need to look up in gang stalking, like virtue signaling. Like I've had a lot of virtue and aptitude by life, circumstance, my parents, education, talent, and ability. And they're trying to create false religion of a shelved plan where everybody's only under mind control, and it's Satanism. Nobody should be in your mind and body. Anyway, so this gang of perps, maybe they're called Two Faces. Let's just call them that for now. They're pretty convinced that this is FBI sanctioned. These are some of the worst crimes in the cosmos. Like Governor Brown really should be considering mobilizing the National Guard and killing gang stalkers. Anybody getting in anybody's mind and body with the RNM, V2K, BCI. He's bragging about, one of these guys is bragging about, he really did, allegedly, the local cop here in Hillsborough, allegedly he showed up in EMF form, like as this guy's old friend, like looked at his online profile, just to maybe butter him up or get him to hate me or something like that. We're all getting misled, and that's being understated about how much we're getting misled. So, and I want to remind you, like these cowards, cons, parasites, laying in their own feces, unclean. It's not spiritual. And then their DNA structure to manifest a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist, they're unclean on that level. And then my fear with this stuff is that all of this stuff, it's also been termed integration. No, it's terrorism, torture, individual micromanagement from the Luciferian satanic agenda. I fear like all of this work being done with the satellites and the electromagnetic frequency with the EMF perps is just setting that whole connection up for the reptilian, who are, under my understanding, and I could have been lied to or read the wrong info, like their natural state or plane is the fourth plane. So all of this torture of 3D human that all the TI endure could be a grand setup for the reptilian who really do enjoy our pain. And so that's all these guys, that this Two Faces gang. Let's just call them that. What else? So yeah, like, so mimicking me even through cooperation with like the internet company to steal my content. It's like if J.K. Rowling was going to write Harry Potter, but instead the gang stalker stole it. And, you know, I'm not trying to write some lame-ass book, guys. I'm trying to help you get out of incarnating on Earth. And this gang of stalkers specifically came to Hillsborough to cover up that information about the black portals. And, like, the two women at the emergency room stationed there that were likely EMF perps were bragging about covering up the black Swiss cheese holes that I've recovered with Wes. Another YouTuber had to make another video. I may have to work on my own website, but above all the crimes that have been committed, that's some of the worst right there. I can't express in words or magnitude what a crime that is to like 7.5 billion of you is. If they are successful in hiding my last gift for you, Earthlings. I won't be here much past 40 or 50 years. I'm not looking to start fucking Scientology mind control Satanist club or go all Scientology and write down the instructions on platinum plates and hang them in some kind of bunker in a mountain. There's some weird shit out there, but I'm not the only one to corroborate the black Swiss cheese holes. Oh, and then I also want to put this out there. So they think they're the God of the Mormon, the God of the Jew, Jehovah. It's all Satanism. These guys are laying in their own shit. It's Howard Circle in the same segment of humanity that would get involved in such psychopathic, sociopathic, narcissistic crime. at the same time, and then they feel like they've already earned a world that doesn't exist. They don't have directions to, doesn't have achievable variables. And I personally never want to be corporeal again. So all that stuff. And then they also, at the same time, don't think there's any life after death, which snake tongue, anyways, it jives with their behavior as humans, that they'll think that there's nothing after death. So, YOLO, might as well enslave the planet one by one and get compensated for it well in no good ways. So, am I going to be able to secure my communications with internet companies who cooperate with these gang stalkers? I mean, my Wi-Fi's tunneled. I turned off the internet last night. Oh, and I'll try not to keep this too long. But this is actually, so I got this for $33. And it's been therapeutic. I think it's cut off some signaling. It's not been a total waste of money. I still hear voices, but it seems like when I put in earplugs now with this on, it's either harder for them. It may be harder for them to hear my thoughts, and then it's when I put the earplugs in, it seems more quiet than it was before. So on the second day, and I sleep with it and stuff like that, is a TI. On the second day, owning the 55 milligram thick lead medical hat has been not the worst investment I've ever made on a $900 SSI budget. So, and then you can get one of these cool hats or whatever, throw it over top like this, like I'm doing. And then you can Jameer quiet, because we really are living in a hologram. And some people really do live underground. And this really is madness. Virtual insanity is what we're living in. So black Swiss cheese hole portals, and that's some of the most important information in the world, beyond the world. And these Satanists are trying to make sure you don't know about that. So I'm going to get my Tesla coil, hopefully maybe even today, and then shine a electromagnetic spectrum light in this room, so I'll be harder to see to try and end this broadcast. But I'm not the God of the Mormons. That's actually false. Even some of the little bit of their scripture that I know, I'm like, they're getting prepared for the Moon Review memory wipe. Great people, though. Lovely and wonderfully Christian. I'm going to get the Tesla coil. I got the hat. These guys are like, it's FBI sanctioned. Like, I just, chummed up with the local cop. And then he's like, I'm the God of the Mormon, because they've done this whole 180 identity switch. And then they'll blanket Hillsborough with electromagnetic form perpetrators and others misled and misleading to be like, an EMF gang stalker is Tim. And then I'm somehow Satan, devil, Antichrist, or all that shit. And these guys are bragging about all of being responsible for that, more or less. Well, I love you, TIs. I'm connecting with some of you. I got a great shirt from the Sacramento rally for targeted individuals. Remote neural monitoring is some of the worst crime in existence. I'm wildly productive, extremely intelligent, and my intellectual property rights and is worth a lot of compensation. And I'm restricted to $900 a month on SSI because they access my mind and body, and I'm some of the worst kind of slave. And that's your future. And within 50 to 75 years, I mean, they have much more advanced tech. Within 50 to 75 years, what happened to USSR and the former Nazi Germany and splitting apart because of this same community policing, it's much more acute, it's much more vicious, it's much more satanic, and it's much more torturous. And unless folks like the Western Governors Association, Kate Brown, do things like very much so marshal the services of the National Guard to find these people and kill them before they kill me, and such and so forth. If they don't, that may be one of the wheels that gets turned, is that the governors start activating the National Guard. Virtual insanity is what we're living now. And I got a chance to make a couple posts about the new hire for brain-computer interface at the U of O. Not happy about that. That's a real understatement. They're using brain-computer interface now to mislead the entire population. That's an understatement. Butterfield, the new quarterback that the University of Oregon just picked up. Thanks for joining the team, man. That's great. I wish you great success in never getting a brain-computer interface, never getting perped. I mean, you'll have some notoriety down there in Eugene. Hopefully they'll be able to protect you and not have remote neural monitoring, torturous, psychopathic Satanists sitting around Catatonic and other locations torturing you every day. Or send 2 EMF goat hookers down to the hospital around the street that they know you're going to go to because they poisoned you to practice Satanism in an OHSU hospital before your eyes. And all that shit really happens to me. And my EMF gang isn't god of anything, and I never was. And it's not my gang. They're human trafficking me. So it's Howard Circle. Watch if you watch the Kevin Christian and the other targeted individual stuff. These people are laying in their own shit and then talking shit to me. An early exposed intelligentsia endurer of the same plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. So virtual insanity. I'm gonna see maybe go someplace like a library or something. See if I get a clean connection. Some of the really good interviews coming out of Project Camelot right now. She's been martyred. Carrie Cassidy. She has EMF perps or real gray aliens showing up to her apartment all the time. She's been made a TI. But some of her interviews coming out of Project Camelot recently, one was about the holographic cosmos. I may chime in and try to get a not satanic mockingbird modified content video, but yeah, I'm not the only one that knows this shit. And those portals aren't new information or a figment of my imagination. And these people need to be killed instead of being allowed to buddy up in the form of the old pal of the police officer in Hillsborough. So, hey, and D1X, like, they're able to sit here and torture me every day because of computers you make. So, and then it looked like your sales this year weren't so great. The computer is as a single device or invention is some of the biggest reasons to turn off, if it was even possible, I don't know, Earth, the holographic cosmos. It may be a holographic cosmos on Earth, but the suffering is real. So D1X and Intel's complicity in the beast system indirectly is related very much so to the same plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. Intel? So my shit list accumulates lots of the Satanism. Welcome to my shit list, Mr. Baldhead, New World Order frontman for work that's already been done. Elon Musk, fucking coffee bitch, showing up at my university taking a paycheck for works that's already been done on behalf of enslaving every single person in every possible way they can. Oh yeah, real Christian there, champ. So 40 or 50 years, and then I'm gonna leave and never come back. And these guys don't even think there's life after death, and somehow earned a planet or the God of the Mormon.